sold their soul when they went against you. They wanted to be you, or they wanted to defeat you so bad that they literally sold their soul. Now, they had a pull to go with you and go with the higher vibration of love, because that's what you exude, right? Love. And they chose to go against that because they didn't want to be loved. Because love can tame a person, and it can send them on a straight and narrow path, but they want to be all over the place, and therefore they went against God. They betrayed God, and now because they betrayed God, now they have lost their gift of sight. They have lost their way, and they have no control over themselves. They have free will, but they have no self-control. So they want to try to control you. They want to try to take your spot. They want to try to control you and put you in a box, keep you in a jar, so they can come in and take your spot and try to present to vibrate on your level. So they went against you just to play make-believe, just to try to pretend like they're you, when they could have been blessed with gifts or been sharpening their tools to help the world as you are, maybe even more. Everyone has their own tools, their own abilities to heal themselves and others, and help others, as well as help themselves. But these people do not want to help themselves. They don't want the work. They're afraid of hard work, and they would rather be dishonest. Overall, just dishonest. They rather, tell you, first they start with a compliment, right? Oh yeah, I like what you're doing here. And then once you let them in and possibly try to show them the ropes, or possibly show them just what you're doing, then they start trying to critique it. And sometimes they'll purposely give you bad advice. And then that's up to you to use your discernment. And when they see that you are no fool and you have discernment, then they start trying to tell other people. Then that's when they try to ghost you, or they try to do all kinds of things to make you feel a way about them. But why would you feel a way about somebody when you feel the same way about everybody? It's love, but you use discernment, so you also know how to separate, to elevate, or just to simply maintain. It's no thing for us to separate. We'll still love you. We love you. We can love a person from a distance, but that's what they don't understand. They think that you have to be all up under someone for them to love you, or for you to love them, and that's where they get it twisted. That cutoff game can be as intense as our love is, if not more so, because you have to basically, when they went against you, they fell from grace, and they felt that on every possible level, and now they want to get revenge on you for something that they did. Ain't that something? They spend hours studying your every move and trying to find out what makes you tick. But when you vibrate on that level, when you vibrate on such a high level, the level of love, it's not much. There's just more understanding. Love is understanding. It's not trust like people try to say, because you could love somebody and just not trust them, and really just not even like them or want anything to do with them. They have serious character flaws, obviously. So why would you? Because somebody who doesn't have anything going for themselves, they don't have anything to lose, will help you lose all your shit too. So it's self-preservation. You gotta protect yourself, and this is what they don't understand. They think because you vibrate on love that you will not protect yourself. They think that you will turn the other cheek. Well, and people like this love to refer to the Bible, speaking of turning the other cheek, because the whole thing is, Jesus may have said turn the other cheek, but he also flipped that table over when it was time to get into it. When he saw that nonsense going in, that table had to be flipped over. And he also told, Judas, or he also said, I never knew you. And that is where you need to be with these people. I never knew you, right? And think of how, when you lose a real one, think of how bad that would hurt for them to say, man, I never knew you. You know, because you never did. Because they were always hiding behind a facade, a mask. And they were always hiding their true intentions. So if you don't know somebody's intentions, you really don't know them. You know, if you never understand what their intentions are, understanding is to know. You don't know them. So you never knew them. You know, even if that, you know, the thought process, you know, suddenly changed, you know, like they were all on board ahead of time, you know, beforehand, and then all of a sudden they just switched up. Still, you never knew them. Because anybody that would betray you, you never knew them. Period. So now, you know, they've been discovered, uncovered, busted and disgusted, and now they want to, you know, they want some get back at you for seeing through them, like as if you did something wrong. You didn't do anything wrong but use your discernment. You didn't do anything wrong but protect yourself. You didn't do anything wrong except remove yourself from the situation. You did nothing to them. Everything you did for yourself and on your own volition. But for some reason, you know, everything's all your fault. You know, when it's really just their fault. Their fault. They are miserable people. Their fault that they, you know, seriously can't think of anything but you and how to get back at you and what you're doing next, and talk about what you're doing, following you around like a little sick puppy. And you know, that's their fault, because nobody's putting a gun to these people's heads and making them get up every morning with you on their mind. Like you're on their mind when they wake up and when they go to sleep and through the day. These people are obsessed about you, and every move you make, they're there to try to tear it down, try to report it. You know, these are sick individuals. So your absence makes them sick. You know, your absence is definitely felt notice, and your presence is extremely memorable for them. And that's why they can only remember the past. They can only remember the times when they are in your presence. And this is why they have to be around you, because they want current memories of you. You know, they want that current energy. You have the energy and spirit of elevation and being prosperous. You know, they don't want to be in their own energy, because that's, you know, basically poverty and despair. Is nothing good coming out of their energy. You know, and when you're by yourself, you have to face your demons. You know, you have to, you know, and they'll call you crazy when you get on this spiritual journey, because, you know, I mean, you probably do have to be crazy to face your demons, you know, to face them down, and to talk to God, and be, you know, not be afraid to talk to yourself, you know. Like you have, you know, there has to be some insanity to it, some craziness to it, because who wants to do that, right? You know, who wants to look crazy in front of man? Who wants to lose the validation of man, right? That's pretty crazy. You know. And you know, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. And you'll be in hell, like literal, your own personal hell on earth, if you are swayed to and fro due to the approval of man. You know, man's approval and validation should not matter. You should want to be validated. You know, God's validation. I know, as far as I'm concerned, God's validation is the only thing that matters to me. Everybody else, you know, they don't like it. They can keep it pushing, man. I don't need that. Unless they're high vibing people, you know, their validation may count for something, but not like these low vibing people who just want to, you know, sit around, drink and smoke and party all day and do all kinds of ridiculous, you know, stuff, that time wasting activities. That's all they involve themselves in. They are not growing people. They are not growing themselves or others. They're just involving themselves in time wasting activities, wasting their life away, wasting this precious gift that we call life, that God has given us. You know, and I can't say it enough. You know, you woke up this morning fully functioning. There are some people that didn't wake up at all, or they woke up with some kind of illness. They woke up, you know, with maybe an aneurysm, or, you know, maybe they had an aneurysm. Some people pass away in their sleep. You grateful for it, and be grateful for that thing was removed because it was meant to make you lighter and to make you quicker on whatever your journey is, because your journey requires different tools and different assets and different ways of moving, thinking, speaking, and these people, they can't understand it. Just like they can't read energy, they can't understand the tragedies, what we consider tragedies on this planet, on this earth, and some are, but tragedy is to get up every day and waste your life. That's a damn tragedy. Worried about somebody else. But they can't understand how people are still happy after losses, especially huge losses, especially after tragedies, because that was supposed to be your spiritual lesson. You were supposed to grow from that in some way, shape, or form. But when you refuse to grow, all you will see is misery. That is all you will see. That's all you will know until you do the work and recalibrate your brain. Recalibrate this powerful tool that you have called a brain, and stop focusing on, the validation of man and the low vibration it takes to be validated by man. You want to be validated on a soul level and a spiritual level, because getting validated by flesh really doesn't get you anywhere except stuck in the matrix. So yeah, they definitely went against God when they went against you. Can't stress that enough. And that's not saying that there's no chance for them to possibly come back and reinvent themselves, but the chances are that they will not want to. They are not going to want to do the work, because it's too hard. It's hard work. To them, it's like it looks impossible, and they are quitters. Quitters on life, quitters on themselves. They just quit, and they don't see it like that. Instead of realizing and facing their own demons, they quit on themselves, and they try to make you quit on yourself. Instead of trying to pull themselves out of that spiritual rut they are in. And I'll leave you with that for now, and I'll probably be back to cover more on this in another video, maybe later today or some other day. But that was what was on the spirit this morning. Again, drink water, tell the world what you're worth, and stop engaging in time-wasting activities. Build yourself. Peace.